Call to order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting. It is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. and it is election day for some folks, but in Swanton, no. If everyone would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we want to do agenda review. Start with Christina.
I don't really have an update for your QR code things for the truck, but I do have one quote and waiting for another, so if you want to put that on, if not, that's my only update.
Under what area?
Is that Swanton?
Promote Swanton.
Okay.
Yeah, you can bring it up then if you'd like. Okay. Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
Also, thank you.
you want to say it, Earl? I got just a couple things under Highway Department. I want to discuss a possible sale of an old heater. And no, we got it already under next board.
I'm good.
Steve?
Good.
Brian?
I just briefly, we need to go into executive session. It should be very brief. Just looking for direction on something, and this should be relative to personnel.
Okay. Actually, under, well, any other necessary business, local option tax, I just did a little briefing so people can take a look at it, so we're all kind of on the same page, in prep for a meeting next week. Can you state whether it's legal or personnel?
Personnel.
Personnel, okay. All right. Start with the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular select board meeting of October 7th, 2025.
Second.
Let me ask the question though, is that the correct date? It's not. That meeting was the second meeting in October, right?
Second meeting in
October 21st.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the October 21st meeting. Hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve the minutes of 21 October 2025. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, public comments, and that's for any items that are not on the agenda for tonight. Anybody? Anybody on board or just, no, just us, right?
Stuff.
Okay, then we're gonna move right along. Law enforcement. Chief. Good evening.
So I didn't make copies this time
Right.
because we got it to you guys yesterday. So there was a clerical error in the arrest charges. There were 10 charges representing 4 individuals. It was related to one of the traffic incidents where there were several charges there, and I apologize because I see it was not attached to, the summary was not attached to the packet that was sent ahead of the meeting. But looking at the incidents, there were 100 incidents in total in the town, 32 traffic stops, the top 10 incident types, 32 traffic stops, 23 directed patrols, 6 motor vehicles, 6 suspicious, 4 agency assists, 4 citizen assists, 3 crash, 2 juvenile problems, and then I can't really make out the other 2, where there were 2 incident types also, because of the way it printed there. Out of those 32 traffic stops, 15 tickets were issued and 28 warnings. All of the tickets and warnings were associated with traffic. And 2 of the arrests out of those 4 individuals that were arrested were associated with traffic stops. I know I had reached out previously to Town Administrator Savage about possibly placing no parking signs down at the train museum parking lot after a certain hour. We've noticed a uptick in activity there, and it would be great if we had something like that available to us to address people who are loitering in that parking lot.
Absolutely.
And I believe they were ordered.
Okay.
It'd be
Were they?
no parking dusk to dawn.
Yeah. Okay, which is perfect. There were 14 additional service hours, and in addition to that, I had the, I guess, somewhat fortunate experience to go back through and get trained last week as a youth force instructor again. I think I was originally trained in 2002, and it's just been difficult to train the agency. There are 4 mandatory hours required per year in use of force training that officers have to remain. It's some of our mandatory training according to Rule 20 now. It's been difficult. We've been using Burlington Police Department since I've been up here just because there's a lack of instructors in the northern part of the state. So that will be an advantage, but it was a long 40 hours last week, throwing each other around. So I'm a little sore. But so that's also an advantage for the town and the village, that we now have an in-house use force instructor again.
Questions? I had, we got a second resource officer now? Is that what I saw?
We do.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Does
so
that give you some relief in trying to manage other shifts and things? Or-
no, not really. So, I mean, he kind of mirrors the other school resource officer. So it will in the summertime. So when school is out, he will be on the road just like another officer. So we will get some relief then. But he is assigned to the elementary schools for the whole school district. So he bounces in between each elementary school.
Yeah.
And deals with and there are, enough problems where he's been kept fairly busy. I think he was a little surprised by how many issues he's had to deal with already. But it's great to have a school resource officer again in the schools, building those relationships with kids. And we've received a lot of positive feedback so far from the district with that new position in the elementary schools.
Do incidents involving the resource officer make this a report? Or
It should, yeah.
Should.
So other than, some of the other, I guess if there were incidents outside of Swanton Town, because again, it's pulling the data by the town itself, may not be in that report. But it should, I would think, for the elementary school. I guess the elementary school is technically in the village, so I don't know if it is pulling that data or not.
One thing I noticed, Chief, when reading that report, and thank you for getting it out early, you could spend a little more time on it. Your officers seem to they're all over the place this time. Where you were patrolling, stopping cars for speeding, traffic violations, you name it. And I'm not sure I've seen that kind of coverage before. Seems like you were all over the place, which is good, really good.
Yeah, I think one of the additional force multipliers, if you will, we were able to hire recently a part-time officer who was full-time with Vermont State Police for a period of time, and then he's moved on to Department of Liquor and Lottery full-time, but he's been working part-time, and he's also been picking up some of the governor's highway safety details. In fact, he did one today, and he was out in the town and performed multiple traffic stops,
Yep.
During that detail. So that's also added to the traffic enforcement.
Yeah, almost like every road in the town, something was going on with the police, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Are most of the traffic stops for speeding and then you get the other stuff about the registration and so on? I would think it's very hard for you folks these days without the little stickers and things
Correct.
to.
Yeah, you're not
really
necessarily
watch it.
going to know unless you preemptively see the plate and you run it through dispatch,
Right.
and then dispatch is going to get back to you and say, oh, it's not registered. If you ran it before you actually stopped the vehicle. But you're correct, without the stickers anymore. It used to be you could come up behind the vehicle and then see if it didn't have the sticker with the appropriate registration date. That would give you a reason to stop the vehicle essentially. mean, you would want to eventually obviously confirm that through dispatch, because sometimes people just wouldn't put the stickers on their plates, but regardless, it gave you reasonable suspicion to stop a car, where now we don't have that.
That, I see all these 8.5 by 11s up here, down there, worn out, can't read them, and temporary registrations and stuff.
So temporary regs, we are able to run now through DMV, where we weren't previously able to do that, so that's also a big advantage for us.
Good.
And it's still, and the state, my understanding is changing it, I wanna say maybe in January. I read a bulletin recently where for people to get the temp registration, I believe what they're gonna do is they're gonna require that you pay the tax due at that time. So it's no longer gonna be a $5, here's your temp registration,
Oh, okay.
that you can extend at least once. So people would, have those registrations, the ones that were valid. Where sometimes you see, they're supposed to be printed off the computer from the DMV website, where sometimes people are handwriting them, and there's all sorts of shenanigans going on with those temp registrations.
Oh, yeah.
So that is changing as of January, is my understanding.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief?
You got one here for, it says 85 miles an hour at 40, then it says arrested for violation. Was there something else that was involved?
Well, the arrest is probably for excessive speed.
You can arrest
So,
somebody?
yes,
yeah,
you
okay.
can, when you're that far over the speed
All right.
limit. Yeah, I believe over 40 miles per hour over the limit.
So, all right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, as well as receiving a ticket.
Nick?
I'm good.
Steve?
I have a couple of questions, just out of curiosity. It seemed to be pretty, well, the weather cooperated, I guess, but we went through another Halloween season. Everything was quiet in the village, or?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, we're in the
recall.
town.
I mean, I wasn't present because I was still making my way back from the police academy
Yeah,
in Pittsford.
okay.
But yeah, we had our school resource officer at the high school stayed and worked late that night, and so did Officer Gilbert. Just add additional resources, but there was nothing noteworthy.
That's good.
Is my understanding.
Guess that's kind of gone out of fad.
The old cabbage night, the night before, used to be
How well I
terrible.
remember, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about here, but I know where I grew up, it was terrible.
Yeah, well, up there it was really bad, but
Yeah.
down here it was still pretty good at times, so, okay. good.
Yeah, I've heard stories, so
Yeah.
I prefer to keep it the way it's been
Oh,
since I've been up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of us are that way too.
And the other thing with the reports coming out, now we understand that, our first meeting of the month may fall early,
Mhm.
the second or the fourth, and Bill and I spoke briefly this morning, and before the meeting started, we were talking informally here on the board. I think it's a good thing to get them electronically, that's fine, but would it work in your schedule instead of coming in the first meeting of the month? You came to our second meeting of the month, so then we know that the report would be for the full month, and,
I could. It's really up to the
yeah, it's up.
select board.
What you-
I'm flexible certainly.
What's
with-
easiest
with
for you, chief?
my schedule. It really doesn't matter. It was that way. So now the village has actually moved me to their second meeting, where I was also attending their first meeting. So it was back to back, but now it's spread out, usually the beginning of the month for the select board, and then for the trustees at the very end of the month. So really, whatever works for you. I mean, my admin assistant, it is tight. Like sometimes, that first of the month is basically when the meeting is. So, we struggle to get that report out early. And she's been doing the reports recently over the last several months. So that would be fine if you wanted to move my appearance to the second meeting.
Whatever works, whatever's easiest.
Yeah, it sounds to me like people like the reports ahead of time, so if
Yeah, yeah.
that works, and it doesn't, and it works for you to go to the second meeting of the month, and to me, that's probably.
So, yeah, give it a try.
Okay.
We all
Sounds
in
good.
agreement with that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good, thank you, chief, thanks for what you guys
Yeah,
do.
thank you.
Highway department, one thing I added is,
Thank you, chief.
Kevin approached me and wants to buy, I think it's a Resner heater. It's a gas operated heater that, two of them came out of the old garage. So this is now about 12 years. They're just sitting up in the new garage. The new garage itself has a couple nice heaters similar that are used just to make up heat if they leave the doors open a lot, because they have the heat that's in the slab. So even the heaters they have don't get used very much. He wanted to purchase one, so I'd check with the board to see if they want to sell it or not. I don't have any interest in keeping those things, even if we have a heater failure at the age those are. I would advocate buying a new heater versus the used heater. It was just something they did when they tore down the old garage and moved them up there, and he said he'd offer us $200. So
For both of them or one of them?
just for one heater. And, that thing could be hooked up and it may not even run. So I don't know if the board interested or not, but with what they do for us, or what he does for us, I don't have any problem.
Well, we don't use them then.
No, these things, they're just sitting on the, one's up on the mezzanine, just on the mezzanine, one's down by the wash rack.
Well, I don't have a problem with it, but he's gonna take both of them. Because if we're not using them, they're just taking up space.
Yeah, they're just taking up space, and like I said, if we have a failure, I would advocate purchasing a new heater,
Well,
not something that's already 15, 16 years old.
But they've already got heaters there anyway.
Oh yes, and they're all hooked up, and they don't run much because we don't keep the doors open
Yeah.
very long, but there were some that were installed.
Well, I would make a motion that we accept the $200 offer, but it has to take both of them. And he can do what he wants with the second one.
Okay.
I mean, are they worth that much or are they basically just junk?
Oh, there's probably some value in them.
Okay, just wanna treat them fairly, that's all.
Yeah,
And if they don't work, I imagine you'll just do whatever with them. Just,
well,
yeah.
that
Well, if one doesn't work, he may get some parts off.
Parts out of the other one,
get
yeah.
parts out of the other one, or you can buy
Quite
parts
resourceful,
for them.
but.
Yeah.
Why don't we say up to 200 for the pair?
Okay, all right.
Or did you want 200 apiece?
No, I only want 200 and he gets
That's
both
what I
of
meant,
them.
yeah, 200 for the
Flat
pair.
200.
Yeah, he's out, yeah.
Because the other one's probably gonna sit there for another 10 years.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to tell Kevin he can have both heaters for $200. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Old Town Business, Ronald Kilburn Railroad Museum update.
Okay, I did meet with Patrick a couple of weeks ago. He gave us a quote. And it was like $750, under $1,000. And he can start, as far as he knows, he should be down there on the 19th. And about 2 or 3 hours worth of work to button things up for the winter. The application for the grant is in process. They wanted some more pictures. Christina went down. She had to get a ladder with Kevin to go up and take close-up pictures, but she did that with Kevin yesterday. We sent them down this morning. They wrote back that the pictures were excellent and the application is being processed. So that's what that stands.
Is the work they're gonna do down there, they're not gonna take down that thing that's the decoration?
Yes, they are.
No, they are. That's
The one
included
on the
in-
back
Yeah,
side.
the one on the back side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take it
okay,
down.
all right.
Yep.
That and some caulking and
Talking.
closing things in.
Yep.
Yep, tighten it up, so. Yep.
Okay. Memorial Valley Rail Trailhead. Send a couple that way. One for Brian, one for me. Okay, if you wanna go that way. So the update right now is about the only thing left to do is to finish the roof. I was told roofing materials were gonna be in last week. What happened is when the roofing materials arrived a couple of weeks ago, what the inventory and the bill sheet, Bill Layden said did not match what arrived on site, so they couldn't finish putting the metal on. I was told the metal's gonna be here last Thursday. Got an update yesterday that it's gonna be here this week. very frustrated with how long it's taken to close the roof up, but that is essentially the last item that needs to be done. Couple notes I put down here, we really don't need to spend much time on it tonight, cause I think we can have a discussion with the rec department when they come talk to us, next week, not the budget issue of tonight, but when they come next week. But, who maintains, I think we need to have that discussion, I mentioned it before. I think the rec department should take care of the day-to-day operations, highway can do the snow removal, and, I think in the town administrator office, we need to probably do the cameras, is get it so you can get on the computer and monitor the cameras. Budget, we gotta think about a budget for next year, water and electricity, I'm estimating right now about 700 per year, I don't think it would be any more than that. Shut water off mid-November to mid-April. Portalet, I inflated the number just a little bit, because we don't know for sure, but I included 7 months at 175 per month, and that pumps it out weekly. And then we ought to throw in some maintenance number, 1,500 should be high for 2026, but I just threw that number out there, so approximately $3,425 should be added to the rec budget, and maybe the utilities come directly out of the general budget, that's something we can work out budget time. Few things to think about. First one actually is an action item. We should talk with our insurance folks.
Well, this is, the timing is perfect because, yeah, I'm working on the insurance renewal, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They need to put that as part of our portfolio, so they're aware of it. And how to market, I know you guys already working on that as part of promote Swanton, but you know, Swanton, the LVRT begins here, which it essentially does, because we're at the early mile marker. St. Johnsbury's at the other end. We have a little bit of space on the back of the kiosk where we can do a better job of advertising our local businesses than what the state did on the front side. Doesn't list a business by name, but we could put restaurants, you know, and phone numbers down, things like that.
Well, we've already had a discussion, we're looking at to put something on there
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure, that's gonna connect to our QR code and all that.
Right to the business directory with Promote Swanton. It's something that we were gonna update on Promote Swanton a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So it's
'cause
just
we went down
something.
and
and
looked at it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and if we need to, you know,
Yep.
pay for
Yep.
something to be done, so it's gonna last, and then we should do it. You know, for the rec department, any special events to help promote the thing, you know, some kids bike events or something to go up so far, who knows what the possibilities are. Or just some event about biking and bike safety and so on. Transportation to other Swanton venues, you know, in the next few years, if things pick up, we look at some possible transportation things. And then I just threw the ribbon cutting down there next spring. I am good either way, but just some things for us to think about regarding our new facility that we have as part of Swanton.
Just one thing to throw out, and I don't know if the rec department would take this or somebody would. We have mile markers, or do we have mile markers up there now?
On the trail itself, there is
On the
mile
trail
markers.
itself. I know some districts have, I think they sold ads at each mile marker, provided by such and such a business, and the business paid to have their name put up there. I can't share it with you because it's confidential, but this did take place. So we might want to give that some thought. I don't know how many mile markers we'd have in our district, maybe 10, maybe, I don't know what.
I think if it's on the trail itself, I think it depends upon the Agency of Transportation's management plan for the
Okay,
LVRT.
all right, well, that makes
But
sense.
there may be something for us to continue on with the fit and healthy path to continue to get people into town that would show a little extra to the trail. That might be a possibility to
Sell a
fundraise
little
those.
signage, brought to you by, XYZ company or whatever.
Yeah, I think we could do that on our path.
Yeah.
I think the state's gonna be very restrictive on,
I think it was the
That piece
state
of it.
that sold, that commanded this thing that I'm familiar with, probably was the state, okay? But
Yeah.
we can pick. a
we
few
can check, we
boxes.
can check with Jackie Casinos, the head of
Yeah,
the trail piece, and we can check with her. I don't know if there's any other questions or thoughts, but that's
good.
where we're at on that. Okay. School district land swap.
Okay, I've had a conversation with Mr. Rowell as recently as this morning. He has a meeting with his attorney I explained to him again what the problem is. And I know he had that property listed for sale, so I said, this problem will never go away with an undischarged mortgage, and this is what they need to do. But I said, it's for your attorney to handle. He had a meeting this afternoon scheduled with his attorney at 4:15 to discuss. So we'll find out from him tomorrow where we stand with that. And I said, the other thing is if you look through your files and you can find the mortgage discharge that they may have given you, bring it down and we'll record it. That'll take care of it.
Right.
So he didn't know if he could, but he looked. So that's where we stand with that.
Elevator update.
You've got a memo in your packet. And it's just basically the last communication I've had, and that was on October 23rd, and this was when they replied back that they feel the amount of water that's coming in there so much that they need to develop a full elevator pump system designed specifically for that situation. And so I'm gonna get after him again. Well, I mean, that was just a week ago, but to find out just where they're standing with that. Because he says the pumps, there needs to be a different setup because there's so much water going in there.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. This is kind of confusing, this email and trying to explain it. So he said they changed it with 2 pumps to match the existing. Then he talks about coming up with a, fancier elevator pump system. Don't know what that is, but then he can get us a quote quickly, but then do not think it's a long-term solution. So
Right.
what, I think.
Well, the quote quickly for doing the pipe work, that's not the long-term solution.
And wasn't they supposed to do some base work too that needed stone?
Well, that's part of this pump
Part of this
solution.
pipe, yeah.
Not the pipe, the whole.
Yeah,
The pumps, the elevator pump the permanent solution.
Aren't these pumps relatively new, Brian?
Well, the pumps we replace, yes, they were.
Do they have any
that's right.
trade-in value if we have to go with a bigger
not when
pump?
they're all burnt out.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
Well, they were.
That's why they had to replace
Yeah.
them.
okay, all right.
So that's the latest on that. Everybody with that style elevator, it's a hydraulic elevator, I've done a little research, and the guts of the system are down in the ground instead of up on the roof. And they're problems wherever they are, they're problems.
So it's part of our solution to move it up.
Well, because of the roof line, it's.
That would be that would be better off to just replace pumps every
Yeah.
so often than to put all the mechanical and
Everything.
you're
up there.
talking
Yeah,
huge
investment, huge.
Well, my question would be, how quick can they get us a proposal to do something that they consider to be
Well,
a better
that's
solution?
My next question to him. I told him to do it is get it done to it as soon as possible.
But they haven't brought no proposal.
Not yet, no, that was back on the 23rd, so that's a week and a half, so he needs to, I'll contact him again and say, hey, where do we stand?
Unless the board wants to go and bring another party in to take a look at it.
I think maybe we give them one more, till the next meeting, then I just soon
Second
start
opinion,
looking
I
for
can do it.
someone, a little more responsive.
Yeah, if we don't have a proposal by the next meeting, we'll probably have to, we're gonna have to get somebody else to look at it.
Okay, the former town garage property
Well,
update.
that, I had a conversation with Christy Herzer this morning. And she said, well, I'll move it to the top of the list. So I got this afternoon. Now, I gotta get hold of Eric, the engineer, to just interpret what all that means, but, they're pretty good with everything that's in the report. So, I don't know, the ECA exemption, please demonstrate that this site meets the requirement for exemptions per section 35604B in the investigation remediation And then an editorial note, the orange and the red text are very similar in hue and difficult to differentiate. And has there been a revised development plan? She's asked that before and we sent her the plans, so.
Tell
You
her
know.
it's in her file.
It's coordinating the redevelopment plan and corrective action plan is highly, which we would, I'm sure, do anyways, coordinate the redevelopment plan with the corrective action plan to make sure they're in sync. But- So I know, to me, she's not saying to get anything more tested, we should just tell the engineer, okay, get us a summary of what we gotta do and.
Yeah, there was a couple
Yeah.
specific things about cleaning up that pipe in
That
that
pipe,
one drain
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And we talked about moving ahead with that. While we had some other things that needed to be done, so we could figure out.
Yeah.
And get the state to approve the actual plan that
Plan.
needs to be done for the way we wanna redevelop it. Which looking, and I haven't gone out with Kevin yet, we're gonna go out and take some elevations. I think we're gonna be able to put 18 inches of material on there and still make it very usable versus removing a whole bunch of material and hauling it away.
That'd be,
That would be much better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it looks like at least we've got something we can go forward with now.
but you haven't come out and said, well, test for this now.
No,
So,
no.
That's good.
Of course, generally concurs, leaves themselves, they,
An out and out.
yeah.
So,
Well, we need to come up with a plan of how we're gonna use that property, because that's gonna affect, the, requirement for the cleanup.
right, so.
Well, we did approve it for the rec, right?
Yeah.
For ball fields
Yeah.
and soccer fields and
Right.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
that's,
what Eric would use as part of his
yeah.
going back to the
Right.
state for the corrective action plan. Yes,
And we've sent that to them, but we'll send it again.
yeah, what I'd like to do is, maybe we get him on a phone call like we did.
That's what I was planning. I had a little computer problem this afternoon. That, basically, took Peter to come and fix it.
Okay, anything else on this, folks? We'll try to have an update from Eric for the next meeting of some timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, new town business, Franklin County Field Days, discussion of possible site in the town of Swanton.
And,
Yeah.
sure.
My name is Fernando, Director of Franklin County Field Days. And as you know, we've been asked to move from our present location. And we're having a hard time moving because we like the old location, right, you know. So what we're gonna do is possibly have something like a mobile fair for a couple of years till we can, you know, line up some real estate. 'Cause we need like 100 acres. 100 acres is not easy to buy today. So we're looking at a parcel of land, it's close to St. Albans, on the Highgate Road. It's right behind Tractor Supply. It belongs to Mark St. Pierre. He's talking about possibly letting us use that for a couple of years, so we can put on a small, some type of fair. It won't be like we had before because, you know,
Not gonna have all the buildings,
there's a lot of infrastructure over there.
right?
So, but that's our plan, so we don't wanna lose it completely, cause if we don't have one next year, we didn't have one this year, then we'll probably never have another one, so we really need to put it together. So with your permission, we'd like to have it over there.
I don't see any issue with it.
Why not?
No.
It would still have to go before the DRB and et cetera.
It's just gonna be a 3-day fair.
Right.
It still would have to be,
I think for purposes of, we talked with the zoning administrator, probably still have to go to DRB, and I'm not sure about Act 250, that's all. But,
really,
well,
we're not building nothing.
you're not building anything,
I mean,
but,
there's a lot of hurdles there you're talking about.
no, but definitely probably the DRB. But
For
that's
conditional
the
use,
conditional use, but we,
zoning growth district.
you know.
Even if it's temporary,
It's
Well,
just, it's temporary, we're not, Mark doesn't want us there permanently.
Right.
He may even only want us there 1 year.
Correct.
Okay.
we'd like
I'm just
to
putting
do-
it out there as for caution.
If we are a mobile fair, it would be nice to go to March one year,
Yeah.
somebody else another year,
Yeah.
move around, you know?
Just have a question, Mr. Grenier, is that land, it's not conserved, is it?
Say again?
Marshland isn't
No,
conserved?
No.
Good, good.
I mean, I'm curious what conditional use we're even thinking it would have to go under. I see this more as a public event, which we're talking about our new public safety reg, which we haven't done yet, but
Right,
I see it being more monitored under that if we're not building buildings and so on.
right.
Well, we hired a sheriff
Would be
department,
recreation outdoor,
and, you know, they take care of that part of
Yeah.
it.
Well, I think,
it's permitted, that doesn't need an DRB.
I think what we can do is we'll talk to Amy, the zoning administrator, on Thursday. Tell her what's transpired, and then I can get in contact with you and
Yeah, you
see
call
what,
my number,
Yeah, that would be good.
238.
Sooner the better to, if they're trying to make it happen for 2026.
4904.
That land actually is right behind where I live.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. But the one concern I would have is the traffic. The traffic's already very high on the road.
the what is,
The traffic.
oh, yeah.
So
It'll
that's
be even
one,
higher, wouldn't it?
yeah, that's one thing that's gonna need to be managed because it's really good because there's a lot of traffic to Walmart.
Well, when we had it here in Swanton, you know, the traffic is backed up all the way to the interstate.
Yeah,
And one time, somebody told me it was backed all the way up to Grand Avenue.
yeah,
But it's 3 days a year,
yeah.
the most.
And you have the sheriff department there with, they'll have to be there to manage the traffic, somebody probably have to be out
We
there.
hired, you know, Bob Norris takes care of that for us. He hires, last time we had Lamoille County Sheriff. They came down and did a great job, so.
You think it's gonna be a big sound issue? But is that,
Say again,
you think it'd be a big sound issue or,
sound,
yeah, when it turns up the house is near there?
it's gonna be noisy.
It's gonna be noisy?
I can't, you know, I didn't go sugarcoat it. You've been to this fair,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, I have.
Yeah, I can hear from my house, I'm 6 miles away. So, that's just the way it is, it's a fair.
It is.
Champlain Valley, right in the middle of Essex. You know, they don't seem to complain too much. Tunbridge is in over there. Caledonia is the same thing. You know, and a lot of fairs are right there in town. Ours is pretty close to town, right here. You know, on the airport road.
Yeah.
But you know, in the old days they put the fair, you know, close to town, but the towns have been growing and they've encompassed the whole fair. So,
Have you talked to local businesses yet, like Tractor Supply or?
no, we haven't.
No? Okay.
Very early stages.
Very early stages.
Trying to get a feel for if the town of Swanton would be accepting of having a fair in the town.
I think it's, from my view, I think it's fair, we should try to find a way to make it work.
I agree. I'm 100%
Because,
behind
I
it.
mean, you could, there's all these little boxes we have to check, and that's a formality and legality, but if everybody is willing to make it work, it'll work. So let's try to find a way.
Yeah, we're all volunteer, nobody gets paid.
Right.
So, if you ask us to do too many hurdles, they'll send me what happened to South Bean on Swanton Summer Festival. There was too many hurdles, and it finally closed, you know. If you're just a volunteer, you know what I'm saying?
No, well, that's, how many acres is that roughly?
Up there, they got like 60 acres.
I'm gonna say about 60.
60?
Yeah.
Right now, we're using the roughly 60 on the airport
Yeah.
road. But we're still fighting with them to try to keep that. So that's not done with yet, you know.
Yeah.
So, it was a great location. Have you folks heard of any industrial development moving in there?
No.
No.
Nothing at all? They put water and sewer there, everybody was moving in there. All of a sudden, nothing, go figure.
Okay.
Sarah Noel with the Field Days, I just have a follow-up on that. So we are searching for land. We have talked with a couple of landowners that own Swanton land that are selling. Do you feel the town of Swanton would be accepting of if we were able to purchase land in the town of Swanton?
You're a nonprofit, aren't you? Tax exempt.
That's correct. We don't pay taxes, no property tax.
And you're looking at 100 acres.
Well,
That's like dreaming.
at least 60, maybe we can get 100 on, terrific. It brings in a lot of economic, people spend money when they go to the fair. All that is right here in town. It's too bad it's at the other end of town.
Yeah, but it's only 4 days a year.
Three. It used to be a Sunday, when, not gonna be, no more
Yeah,
Sunday.
no more Sundays.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, if there was probably more use planned for then,
I was gonna say, the fair itself is just that weekend.
Yeah.
The field days is a business, it runs 365 days a year. So there has to be other things that, as we try to hold on and move forward to hopefully bring this type of community event.
If we own the property, we could do that, But renting over there, we're limited. You know, this, like we've already invested a lot of infrastructure, buildings, and then they asked us to leave, If you were to put a really nice building up, insulated with, use the Four Seasons, we would have lost it. You guys,
well, myself personally, I would listen to what you had for a proposal if you ever get to that point.
okay.
And as far as using that property next year, I mean, I would make a motion that the board would support your efforts as long as you can address all of the issues that needed to be addressed, that we would be supportive of using that property next year anyways.
Thank you.
Hear the motion or your second?
Okay.
Motion been made in second. Any further discussion? And my only discussion from my standpoint, I fully support
Thank you.
having a fair 2026. Let's get one done, and I support whatever we can do to help make it happen. Any other discussion?
I agree.
So speaking of that, I would like to know, doesn't the town of Swan own some land on Woods Hill Road?
Swanton Village.
I think it's the village.
Swanton Village, right.
It's the village, it's not
Gotcha.
100
It's in the
acres.
town.
Yeah.
And it's.
How many
last-
acres?
Not 100. And it lasts, I was on the board when it was purchased, I was on the village board when it was purchased. It was for sludge
Yeah,
spray.
but you guys, they don't do that anymore.
I don't know if they are, really.
I believe they do, last I knew.
Yeah, but they didn't need see, originally they bought 100 acres because they thought they were gonna have an agreement with the city of St. Albans that the two of them would use it for sludge. That's why they bought so much, but then St. Albans backed out. But, so you can call the village manager and get information from him as to what they're doing with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Best of luck.
Good luck.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep, have a nice evening.
Happy tip. All right, quarterly financial reviews. We are gonna push the library to next meeting, Swanton Recreation. Swan, come on up and join us. Oh, both of you, come on up, we're friendly. Yep, I can't force you to come up here, but you're more than welcome to come up.
I only bite sometimes.
Joel will be nice to you. You know what I'm worried about.
All right, so page 13. We've had this, got it the day before Halloween. Any questions from board members?
I just got questions so I can understand the report.
Okay.
First of all, it's a good report. It's got a lot of detail in there. Takes a lot of the guesswork out. I'm assuming this is for period 9 means as of 9:30?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We had a nice big chunk of revenue, $28,340 that came in. What was that from?
Grants, there you can see a subheading.
I see it,
under-
yeah, but I knew it said grants, but where? Where'd that come from? That's a nice chunk of money.
MBSD.
It's what?
MBSD?
From the school, it was a pass-through grant.
Oh, okay, all right. And then I had another,
Your youth program, your summer camp.
No, my team
Just a
leadership
second,
program.
Steve got some questions, yeah.
let's see. I noticed, I did see that, and this is just maybe a helpful thing, the field sponsorship campaign, the field sponsorships may have been down to plan. Is anybody making any effort to get people to put signs around, or can we do that now?
To put out more signs, like the field signs, is that what you're asking about?
Well, like the businesses put signs around.
So, you mean our budget's down on that line item, that's what your
Yeah,
question is?
yeah.
So part of the reason that the budget's down on that line item is that we've been using advertising in the field as a way to barter with some of our local contributors. So like we have a heat pump going in, and we've had some work done at the rec that's done because we're paying for their field sign to go up.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
bartering that way, so it's costing us a lot less to put up a field sign for $150 as opposed to pay $4 or $5 for, say, a heat pump or the work to do a heat pump or something like that. So that's why our number's down. We haven't actively gone out that I'm aware of to ask people if they want to advertise. Usually it's the parents or other sponsors in the area of kids that are playing. They're the ones that are like, oh, I want my kid's jersey to have my name on that.
Just to throw that out, that's been successful in other areas. They get these big boards, and it's XYZ company, just throwing out there. Fairfax ran into trouble because you could see it from the highway,
Yes,
and they got into the billboard problem.
right,
I don't think we'd have that problem. Rec salaries were down 45,000.
right.
Is that because we didn't hire the part-time person right away?
Well, so part of it is that we didn't hire the part-time person right away, and part of it is that $25,000 pass-through grant that we had from MBSD. We utilized a lot of those funds to pay wages for our students that worked in the
Okay.
food booth and other things, so that came out of our payroll.
There you go. Who prepared this? This is a good job.
I believe that this was Ashley Jean, right?
Correct. This uses a software called Memorex, which is the municipal software that the town of Swanton uses, and the
State of Vermont
bookkeeper
uses.
and well, yeah,
I'm like,
everybody.
don't take too much credit.
The executive director and the bookkeeper work very closely on inputting those numbers into the system.
Good job.
Now, I wanna
Right.
go back to fundraisers, you're way down on what you budgeted, are you anticipating some coming in towards the end of the year?
For the fundraisers?
Yeah, you had budgeted 10,000 and your actual was 4,000.
I don't know where you're at.
Page 14 on the thing I got.
It'd be your second page, page
Like,
two
oh,
of,
are you?
On your budget
Page 2 of
status
4.
report.
My budget status report is John McMahon.
general ledger, it's just page 2.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, that's our Corn Fest. We did not receive as much sponsorship for our annual special event Corn Fest as we had anticipated.
Okay, so you don't anticipate making it up at the end of the year.
No.
But fortunately, you got the grant, so you got some money in the other way, so you should stay within your overall budget.
We will absolutely stay within our budget.
Question from me, not really a question, but on salaries, I don't think you're too far off anyway, because we're only 3/4 of the way through the year. So if we're at 70% or so, I'm not too far off anyway.
Right. And we just had Mary come in, so
Good, how's that going?
Great.
so far so good.
Yeah, excellent. The special funds, where are we counting for those now? They're things that they're like, I guess I call them restricted, you receive money for specific grants. Or have you cleaned most of that up, I guess, I'm not quite sure. That was something we discussed
Does
before.
that show up on page 17?
That's what I'm wondering if that's what,
I really wish you guys would use the same numbers.
page 1 of 2, it says,
You know how many wage 1 of 2s I have? Like 3 of them.
says Swanton Recreation General Ledger Balance Sheet Current Year Recreation, page 1 of, because I guess I understand that, there's several items here and it says like SF food booth, so maybe special fund food booth, I'm
Right,
not
those are all
sure.
special funds.
But what is recreation checking at 158,000?
That's our regular checking account. Everything else is from the special funds account line item down is in the money market account, which is in our special funds account.
Okay, so what's the regular checking money versus the money on the pages prior?
On the pages prior is everything reflected out of the regular checking account. The revenue and the expenditures out of the, like these pages, the budget status are reflecting the general checking account, with the exception of the grant revenue.
Yeah, I guess what I have a hard time looking at is, here's your income, here's your expenses. So you, between what the town gives you and what you get for, registration fees and everything, what is that balance? And then how does that relate to the special funds? What is your total?
That balances the recreational checking account on page 17.
Page 17. Okay, so
That's that revenue, that
that
line item.
158 is,
Correct.
all these other pages, this is your expenditures and your receipts. You have a balance now of 158.
Correct.
And then and you add the special funds to that.
And then with the addition of the special funds, our overall total is the 219.
And you can tie that in if you go back, it ties in.
And so I would think somewhere on page 1 through 4, I would see the 158, 475. And I don't want to make this more complicated or anything. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that balance there versus, let's say, 144, 342, 65. I don't need that answer tonight. Just in looking at
I
that,
don't
if
think you're
I'm,
gonna find that number
No.
in these previous, you're not gonna find that number, because that's actually,
It's a total.
it's like my general fund account I have where we pay all the bills. That's kind of like their general fund account, so that's where all their grants, unless you have a special grant account, all their money goes into that one checking account. So anything, the income they get on here
Right.
goes into that checking account, but you're not gonna see that number because it's gonna vary quite a bit.
yeah, it's, I guess in my mind, you're bringing in money. You start with a balance, you bring in money, you spend money, you have a balance, which to me, I see 144, 342. But when I look over at that other sheet, which tells me you're sitting on $219,000, of which a certain amount is the special funds, 20 items, whatever it is there. And this other balance of 158.
This is based
Because-
upon accounts payable, right? And
Right,
so
this is the accounts, this is like their budget, this page 16, that's their salaries and all their
Yep.
FICA money and all that stuff. And then on this page is their account with their balances for their special funds.
That's the
So it's
reconciliation.
like their, you're not gonna see it over here, cause this is their budget, this is
No,
what
I
they spent
understand, I
year to date.
understand their budget.
And this is what they've taken in for revenue, so if they go, let's see. That's your accounts payable. So it's not gonna reflect in the expense budget, if that's what you're looking for.
Because there was a beginning balance also. It all, I had the same question on my back, and we have to remember that we had some carry forward
Right,
loans, I
oh, yeah.
recall. And then we had income coming in, we had expenses, and I think there's a timing issue that I looked at here. But the 219 is the reconciliation I was harping on before we got it, which is very useful now. From this 219 though, we'd have to subtract the accounts payable. Because at the end of the day, we'd have to pay those accounts, and that 219 would be less. But some of those, we can only use the 158, 478,
Right,
because the rest is restricted or.
right. No, I understand that. Okay. I'm good.
One question I have is, the
Trying
new,
to figure out why it's so much.
No, just trying to figure out. I understand what this sheet is. Somewhere you're sitting on $219,000. So this one, what?
Well, you would
Not
have
really.
spent quite a bit of that already, haven't you? That's,
well, because we're already in quarter 4 and
Right.
we have made
Well, then
That's
I
total
thought,
revenue.
just a second, you just said you had 158,000 in your checking account.
at the end of quarter 3, yes.
Yes, okay, that's all I'm talking, the end of quarter
Yeah.
3, this document.
Correct.
Correct.
So, at the end of quarter three, at $219,000.
Right, and a lot of that is because like our rec salaries haven't been expended, and we've had health insurance that we
Yeah.
had to budget for, that we haven't utilized.
No, I'm not
There's lots
questioning,
of, like,
not questioning that at all. Nope, I'm good.
Okay, I just have,
okay.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mike, I got a question.
Yeah, one question I have is the new 2011 tractor, the tractor that was paid off? Okay, I just wanted to confirm that since.
Just normal question. Between now and the end of the year, we're gonna be pretty much on plan for expenses and, I mean, I tried to annualize things, it looked like it was pretty close.
Yeah, we have a couple of these special funds accounts that we're going to bring down to as close to zero as we can. Now that we're in the off season for summer sports, now's the time for us to purchase a lot of those pitching machines and goals and equipment. That it's a little cheaper and we can get these funds back down to zero wherever we had overages or things that we didn't spend. We also had a lot of success this year with our programming, our summer programming, and a lot of our camps. Nicole and Nick and their whole team have done such a really great job that we've had so many kids wanting to come in that we actually went above and beyond on a lot of our camps, and registrations and different things were way over 100% for
So
registrations.
last year you actually kinda overspent your budget. This year, it looks like you're gonna end up with a carryover.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Cause I see like in special funds, $7,000 just says donations.
Yep.
So that's money you can use to buy stuff or to reduce. I mean, those donations didn't have a specific tag to them, did they?
Some no.
No.
Yeah. so
Keeping
then-
in mind too that we did have the grant from MVSD, which resulted in $25,000 that we didn't have to spend. That helped us kind of carry through. So, and we had almost $22,000 in exceeded camp admissions between field hockey and tennis and other things that we were doing. So that's a good chunk of money that we haven't used, and our health insurance budget was quite high because we have to
Right.
anticipate for that.
Right.
Okay,
Ben and Jerry's at $17.50. Was that specific to something?
That was before my time. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not-
probably
So
just been hanging.
that's one
That's
you
stuff that we can
you
spend
spend down or you, anyway, I'm done, Earl.
okay, hate to be the devil's advocate, but when you were saying, well, you're gonna buy equipment now, was that equipment that you planned on purchasing anyways?
It's either equipment that got burnt out during the year, so like our
Okay.
pitching machine crashed out in the middle of the year, and our field hockey program really took off this year, so we need a larger set of field hockey goalie equipment because our goalie equipment is quite small.
Okay, so you would've had a budget for that next year anyways.
Right, and,
Yeah.
or you'll see that the Little League equipment has a leftover line item, and so
Yeah.
we'll spend that down on equipment that was damaged or needs to be replaced now that the Little League season is over. And they're not playing fall ball either, so.
So either you pay now or you pay later.
Right.
Alright,
I looked at your interest income, nice to see it. What are you getting on the money market account?
No idea.
And our,
We talked
right
about
now,
this
we
too.
started out at 4 and it went down to, I think we're at 2.5 or 3 on that. Cause it's not, they're in our cash management account. So they follow, they sweep when we sweep, like, well, their accounts sweep us.
Yeah, I understand that, but, so, that, at some point, we should know what you earn, because that's a lot of money. I know it goes down fast, but you should try to figure out what your average earning rate would be. And the reason I bring that up is early in the year, you get a big chunk of money from the town. You might wanna consider putting this into CDs. I know it's gonna be used, but maybe short-term CDs to get a little higher rate if it's possible, just make extra income for you, that's all.
If you keep it that long.
Yeah, I don't know. That would, we can look into it
Yeah,
for
I mean,
sure. I would love to get more information from you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's money that might be just sitting on the table. If you get a hold of it, why not?
Do you give them all the money up front?
No.
No, we
No,
don't.
that's, we
Oh,
get,
okay, I thought
because
that-
we don't even collect that, we don't
No,
even
we
really
do
start
it-
collecting that
We do
till
it in
August.
installments.
Okay,
Yeah, cause we don't collect that money till August,
Right.
right? So we try to give
We
it out.
We give them,
Actually, October.
because we
Right.
don't get that money.
I mean, some
No.
people start bringing it in.
People
Yeah.
start paying taxes, so
Okay, just,
they don't get it in one lump sum.
just a question, that's all.
Yep, nope.
Good.
All right, anything else for the record?
Nope.
Thank you very much. And, talking about all them kids going there this summer and just seeing that, those fields and excitement going, and now I see they got
Just
The
say we
ice-
don't
ice-
haven't stopped showing up yet.
Yeah, they're still coming.
the ice, I see they've already got
Oh, yeah.
the rink ready to go as soon as we get cold weather. The water was in there today.
Yeah, and then just you talked about Halloween. We had 15 teens in our space for Halloween, and more coming every day that we're open as the Shortstop Teen Lounge, which is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. There's always I'd say 8 to 12 kids on any given one of those days.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to the general account.
All right, I can breathe now. It's over.
You, not us.
I know. Thanks, guys.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Nah.
Have a great evening.
Okay, we're going on to general.
General, yes, sir.
All right, first question is animal control. Is that because we've got such a high volume this year, or is it because we're kenneling more of them? We're already over on
We're
that.
kenneling more. And we've had more other things going on with it. I mean, that covers all the expenses
Yeah,
too, the
yeah.
tags and the.
Mildly.
We're on the general budget right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
On animal control. But my budget's through November 4th,
What's that?
just so you know. Because
It's quarter 3.
September is the end of the quarter. In October, I do a lot of the pay the FICA and the MEDI, which shows in October and
Yeah.
not in September. So if this is more of a true number through today. Because I wasn't gonna, I just figured I might as well do it because like we pay the Beamers and it goes for the 9th for the third quarter, but it doesn't get paid until the 10th month. So this is actually your 3 full quarters for like your Beamer retirement, state withholding, unemployment tax, and that information, because that's a true up to 9 months of that expense.
So at 80%, we're looking
Right.
good.
Yeah.
And then the remainder,
Do you have some places, go ahead. Do you have some places in there, Kathy, where it shows we have $328,000, which is the positive variance between now and the end of the year? Do you think that there are some cases where we won't be spending?
Oh, no, we're gonna be spending it. I'm gonna be paying all my appropriations.
Okay,
That's because I haven't done hardly any of those yet, and we still have,
like Missisquoi Valley Rescue, right?
264,000 is gonna go out to the, we got 70,000. We have 43,000 still to MBR, 26,007 to the Swanton Library, and then for a total of 70,000. But then we have the final appropriations to pay, let's see, still have Franklin County Industrial Development 12.5. And then we have our appropriations all of our appropriations are listed here for about another 15,000. And then we have, we've done capital reserve. So there's not gonna be, there'll be some left, but there won't be a lot left. Because we still have payroll for everyone to finish for the next 2 months as well.
good. Well, you always
But
had
we
to
should
ask
be
that.
pretty much in line.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
ask that
we
question.
usually have something left over at the end of the year, we always do.
Well, I still believe in Santa Claus too.
Well, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Franklin County tax, that, we appropriated 67. I assume you got that number from them to start with, then we get a bill for 69.
Yes, exactly, because they do a proposed budget at the beginning of the year, and then they finalize the number count, and then they send us the bill, so that's why that's different.
Okay, and miscellaneous, now, I'm sure we approved this somewhere, but I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So the miscellaneous takes into account the 3 appraisals that were done on the 3 properties that went for FEMA, so that's $2,400. Then we had about, I would say, 4 about $7,000 worth of work over on the 4th Street property for
Okay,
cleanup
alright,
and all
that's what
that
I was
stuff.
trying to recall,
Maybe more,
I remember that,
I think it was closer to
okay.
8,000.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the other thing is we did order like the flags, but we got reimbursed for the flags. So I mean, some of, it's still in there because we spent the money.
And
Yeah.
we'll get the money back on the FEMA properties.
Right.
And we will get the money back for the
On 4th Street
4th
property.
Street property,
When it's
but
sold.
it may not be this year.
Right.
So
And the
we've
FEMA
incurred the
properties probably
expense.
won't be this year.
Yeah. I just wanted, I knew we had approved it, because,
Yeah.
but I just
You
couldn't
always say
remember where
find
it
the money
was.
somewhere.
Yeah, find it.
Miscellaneous minus, that's how we found it.
Next year we go into budget season, we really need to increase that miscellaneous.
Maybe.
All right, any other questions on the general? Okay. You good over here?
Yep.
All right, moving on to highway.
I think you probably got the same thing here on highway, like resurfacing, that doesn't cover the grant we got to do the extra resurfacing. right?
Correct.
Right,
So we should get 136,000
Right.
roughly back, which
Right.
puts us back in the,
Yeah,
So what I did is on page 2, I did the offsets for like the grant we're gonna get and we got the truck, the 2 trucks in here.
yeah,
But we had the money in savings though, so the true number item budget, right now on the highway, we're like at 70%.
yeah.
Just so you have an idea exactly
Yeah.
where they're sitting.
but under road improvement,
Yeah,
you're showing minus 92. We had a big carryover.
Right.
that's
That's
that.
what
We had the
that's what I grabbed this
the
for.
149, right? It was 149.
149,
Right.
so
So
we're actually gonna have a nice balance there, but what I wanna be
Exactly.
able to do is show that when we get ready to build the budget
I'll
next
show it in
year.
there, I just didn't, I was gonna do it and I
Right.
just didn't.
Yeah,
So
because
so
we
we are in
didn't,
good shape there.
we didn't use the road improvement money from the year before, so we didn't.
Carried,
have-
we carried it over, so we didn't put as much in, but
Right,
all the bills have come in and it shows,
So when I do the adjustment, like I did for these here to show what we're actually at, that
Yeah.
will be included in there
yeah,
of what we didn't use,
Yeah.
so.
that has the blasting and the paving and
Yeah.
some of the other stuff, yes, so we actually are in the positive there.
Yeah, we are.
okay, on the Swanton beautification, we
I
allocated
know, I
4.
shorted them $1,000, I'm gonna do the check when I do my appropriations. Cause it was 3,000, we raised it
Before.
to 4, and my mind was just like, so yeah, so we owe them $1,000 and I will cut a check to them.
Alright.
Wasn't trying to short them really.
That was all I had on that.
And we do have the salt, I got salt bills in the mail today.
Yeah, they've delivered a lot of
They've
salt.
delivered salt, and I also got the sand bills from, Leach. No, Wrights, dropped their
Right,
sand
yeah.
bill off.
But we should, we definitely shouldn't go over our budget unless we have some kind of disaster then.
No, we're gonna be under.
Under.
Well, you're gonna be
yeah.
under,
And it's
definitely.
gonna help set us up for next year, although we got a very expensive 35-foot wide culvert to do. That's how wide that one is up on Berry Hill.
Yeah, but we probably won't be, you want a budget money for that?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna figure out. We'll be talking about that in a couple
We ain't
months.
got that kind of carryover, Joe.
No. No. Any other questions on highway?
Legal fees has to be the MV property.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there probably was some fees for Swan Hill too, because, or did we,
We actually
there was.
did get an opinion on something
Yeah.
up there, yes.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to 6C, DRB members request for tablets on page
There's-
19.
The other library budget's in here too, if you wanna, we'll just take a look at that.
Yeah, we got that.
Oh, for the, on our side,
side.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that piece of it.
is there payroll on target too, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
yes.
And you did the same thing, all this is up to date.
Yeah, as of
Yeah.
November 4th.
Okay,
So is everybody good with that?
yep,
All right,
except the elevator. We're way over that.
that one's gonna be heartburn for a few more meetings. All right, now we're gonna move on to DRB request for tablets. I see in the package, looks like around $480 per.
So at the last DRB meeting, they have all brought it up again, and I said I would bring it to you again. they really want tablets to be able to go paperless so that I can send them everything and they can use them to research the bylaws digitally versus flipping through the books.
Are they gonna take the tablets home with them, or?
These are ones that I discussed it with Peter. He gave me two different ones, this one or a lesser one, which was $280. His concern was with the $280 one, they wouldn't be able to open like like it wouldn't be able to do what they wanted to do. And this one is a little more, but it comes with the keyboard and has the RAM space to do what they want.
Okay, my question would be that's the only thing they can use it for.
Well, they can only use it, well, it depends on what we put on it. We would put, and the other thing too is the email fight for everybody.
Yeah.
Peter, so if you decided to do it, Peter and I would set them up, their emails would be set up on them. I would change their emails from SS27 to their names,
Yeah.
set them up on there, and then set up the program they need to open. So really, they would just have the internet, and I think it would be ideal, and Brian said that when he was in the state house, you had to sign something that said you would take care of it and we'd keep it in the personnel file, because I mean, it is,
Can they use it for personal use?
You can restrict it.
you can restrict that.
You can restrict it.
but.
I would think that they should be.
Let me tell you something, I've been on other boards where this has been implemented, pays for itself quickly.
I wouldn't have to bring them their DRB packets
Yeah.
every month.
You can keep it, in between meetings, stuff can be sent out. When it comes time to send the package, all Christina has to do is go click, and it's gone. No more paper, no more mailing.
Yeah.
I am wholeheartedly in support of this, and I think we should be looking at it for us.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean,
Well, that was the question, do
That's
you,
why- that's my thing,
do you wanna do it for the planning, the DR, like, how far do you wanna go with it?
well, let's do it for the planning right now, because that's what's asking for.
The DRB.
DRB.
And there too, you don't know what the cost is gonna be yet, though,
Well,
for
this
sure.
is, well, if you look at this is a $770 tablet on sale for $480, so,
Then you need 5 of them.
well, we need at least 5 of them.
What's gonna
So
be the
it's
cost
gonna
of the
be
software?
about $2,500 at a minimum.
Then we're gonna have a support, the software support that usually goes
Peter
with
didn't
this.
say that, he didn't say anything about that.
Okay, we
Well,
want,
if they're gonna open up documents, they're gonna
They're
need,
gonna have to have our Viper too.
yeah, so we wanna take a whole picture because usually the software support's about 10% of the cost.
Yeah.
And but that never goes away,
I should probably have.
but it's a good thing, I can't speak highly enough, let's do it. Somehow.
So my question is, do you wanna do it for anybody else while we're setting them up?
Let's get this set up, my feeling, let's get this set up, let's work our way through it, get all the bugs worked out, take a look at the ongoing holding costs. Again, maintenance, software costs, updates, because it's not gonna go away, it's gonna be a little more than you think. Let's work it out here and then expand it into the other boards as
I
we.
really think you should look at it for this board,
And the
that
planning,
board, and the
DRB. So
planning.
you'd be looking at 15
And-
tablets.
And figure up what the cost is gonna be, and if it, it might be a appropriate use of our special
I
funds.
agree, Earl, but I wanna start small, so we get our hands on
But
this.
you might not get that price.
Yeah,
and what I would like though is for it to come back with more information.
Yeah.
This is what you're
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
too. I just switched. I had Windows 10. Windows 10 was going away on October 14th, so I had to get a new computer.
mine's
And I
still
upgraded.
working.
Yeah, that's okay until they don't get an upgrade and
Until it
someone,
doesn't.
and someone, anyway.
I don't need it
So,
anyway.
so I had updated, bought a laptop, paid around $600, but now I like using Microsoft Office, PowerPoint and Word. I've used it for years, and Excel, that's $150 a year. To maintain that. Before, you could get the CD loaded in and keep it for many years.
Oh, you
think
mean
what they're
now
asking-
you gotta pay every year for Excel?
That's what a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff is now.
Wow.
I get a bill every month.
That's why I think we do some research, like you say, before we commit, other than we support
I think
and we haven't budgeted it for 2025 or 2026.
maybe what they're looking for
Maybe
here
do special
is
funds.
support,
Yeah.
support from the select board to move forward, getting us all the
Get the
information.
DRB going, or do you wanna wait and?
You just heard it. DRB first, let's get our hands around this thing, get our handle on all the costs, and then we'll look at expanding it out. maybe the next step would be the.
Well, are you proposing that we just go ahead and we're gonna do it for the DRB, no matter, cause we don't know the cost tonight and we don't know all the details.
I'm asking to come back with the final cost.
Okay,
Which
Just for the DR.
Well, it can be applied times 5 or times
Yeah.
15, so
yeah,
we can,
okay,
I mean, bottom line, we need more information, is what I
Okay,
think
so I'll
everyone's
talk to
saying.
Peter and find out what else we need to go with this.
yeah.
For
Yeah, I mean,
software.
that's gonna be a discussion, what are people, what are the members comfortable working with, you know?
The only question I have is how they're gonna have to replace them every few years probably. Yeah,
We should get at least 5 years out of them.
Oh,
Five
at least, I mean,
For what they're gonna use them for?
exactly.
And they're not El Cheapos, so they should.
Yeah.
I remember having a pile of papers like this,
14 years
that from different boards I sat on, and I went from this to this,
Yeah.
bingo. No mailing, no prep, no nothing.
You would say
Yeah, my
about
my
paper.
desktop is like 12 years with that,
Oh, yeah,
that I've been
that
using.
that lasts a lot longer than you think.
I've maintained that a computer is a one-person machine. When we had computers at home, we were replacing them every couple of years because the kids were on them and everything else. And then yet, when I was working in the banking industry and we were assigned a computer, it lasted a long time. So, and sure enough, I bought my first laptop and it lasted about 6 years. Then I bought a commercial grade laptop and 2 years ago I replaced it. It was 14 years old.
Mine was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get more info, we can talk about it at the next meeting. And I think everybody supports the
Yeah, that's a good
motion, so
idea.
Do you want me to ask the planning commission if they feel they need it, or just wait?
I would say wait, let's,
Yeah, let's start out with a smaller nucleus here and then go out.
okay. Community and economic development update on promote song.
Well, right now, we have, of course, we approved the, branding update for the website, and we're waiting to hear back we did have a meeting with EcoPixel. We went live with what we have, and I hope you guys have checked it out.
It looks really nice now. If you go on, you go right, and then maybe Christina can do it on the big thing, so you don't have to look at my phone. But it looks very nice now. Once you go onto our homepage, we made some adjustments, so you can now see the local business listings, as well as get townwide news. We moved its position on the webpage for user experience, and we also made sure to.
Nice picture.
Yeah, the drone photos came out lovely.
Yeah.
And this is our business directory,
And I've added more that have sent stuff to me.
and I have some too for you that
Okay,
I'll
send
get
them
to
to me and
you.
I'll build them in.
I also have pictures to fill in the blank spots.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
So everybody will have a picture, their information, way to connect.
Should we put the information for the food list on here?
Yeah.
Can't get me that information.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, we got more work to do in that area, but we're still working on it, but it just give you an idea.
And then if you
Other
continue to go
potential.
down, Christina, we've put townwide news up a little bit further, so it's not right at the bottom of the page.
Yeah. We have added that too, and supposedly now you don't have
Please
to,
fix that so there's not double verification. Before, when you would subscribe, you'd click on it, you'd fill in your information, and then it would send you an email that you had to verify. Well, a lot of times it would go to your spam or wherever. Well, they've taken that second verification out.
so once you signed up, you're signed up for news.
They also fixed, if you go to the town, where did they add all of the meetings and stuff? Right here. So if you go to town calendar, it lists everything that is I've built in for meetings and stuff all together. You don't now have to go to each board to see when their meetings are.
Yeah.
They changed that. What else you guys got?
Are you gonna say something?
Me?
No.
But
This is different. What was this called before?
It was just services.
Okay.
Church was like a medieval castle.
Yeah.
So
There'll be other pictures added in there when the branding part comes into play too.
Yeah, that, it might look a lot different when you
Yeah,
actually get that.
Yeah, the
edited.
color
They're
will
not
look
colorful.
different, yeah.
Can you scroll up? Look to the statue in the park. No,
down.
if anybody knows a organization that cleans those, please let me know. I'm trying to find somebody to clean that thing up. To me, it's not very nice the way it is right now.
Didn't, is it like a headstone material?
But it's soft granite, so somebody's really gotta know what they're doing.
Yeah, we need to find somebody and work with a village because it's theirs, but
Yeah.
it should be cleaned up.
Well,
That's
it
right
could
there at the head
probably-
of our park.
Probably
Well,
would
that's like a
fall
water
under
plant.
swamp
Yeah.
motion.
So,
What's that?
Probably would fall under swamp motion if we can find somebody, but I don't know anybody, but I know I've heard the conversations where you gotta know what exactly is
Oh, yeah.
specific way because of the
We
material.
don't want to damage it, and
Yeah.
that's something maybe if there's any time during the week, if you could try making some phone calls to. I had someone I thought was gonna come out and look at it, but they said they couldn't get up here, it was too far for them, they were down in the Rutland area.
I can certainly work on that. And then in addition to that, we were, and I haven't just gotten to it yet, we were looking at pricing out what a nice quality sign would be for the back of the LVRT
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
That it was more like an expansion of the brochure with the map and the QR code so people could just scan and get
Yeah.
all of that information right on their phone to link them to the businesses, but really get an overall picture of what Swanton is, and I just haven't gotten to it yet.
And we may take Steve's idea of businesses of promoting being part of that on our own rail trail to give more signage. That may be something that we're gonna have to take a look at from that standpoint, you know.
On the fitness trail, that'd be great.
Yeah, on the fitness
That's a good
trail to
idea.
direct people down the
Every
Grand
quarter
Avenue.
mile, that's 1 mile
Yeah.
long, every
Yeah, I
quarter
think
mile.
you
we
could
can-
get, the group I worked with, I think $100 a sign. That's a char, I mean, it's easy money,
Yeah,
you know, it's right there, so.
that's great. Anything else, folks?
The only other thing I wanna bring up is we're having this hearing next Tuesday, and I don't see it on the website. Or next Wednesday.
it's on there as a meeting.
But it should be these type of things, and I don't know how it's gonna end up when we get done, but it should, yeah, it's stuck there. But it should be something that's highlighted on the front page.
Maybe create a news article about it.
Maybe a news alert thing.
It's in the park.
I know it's in the park, but you know, people are going on the website, we want them to use the website, and you know, you've got townwide news, I think it should be right there.
That one's certainly worthy of it. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not a routine
Yeah, it's
meeting.
not a routine, you know.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay, anything else?
The only other thing I had, the last meeting you discussed adding the website to the side underneath the logo on the trucks and on the back, the QR code and the new branding. And I do have a quote from 1220. I spoke to Kevin and Jeff connected with us with a guy that they got it from the last time for Pat's new truck for pennies compared to what they charge, so I will have both of those for your next meeting.
Okay,
Something to actually look at and a price.
Yeah, I have the price now and he tells me that's triple what you should be paying. So we shall see.
Okay, excellent. Next is policy review, and I don't know if anyone has actually came prep for this.
me and Nick.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, good.
I read it. I only have two things. One, we're not following our policy when it comes to reviewing personnel. And number two, it never got signed by the select board. It's blank. The last page is where it's
Well,
supposed
the
to be.
problem is there's so many copies of it.
Oh, I
probably
see.
didn't put a signed copy in your binder.
Is this the last one that got approved?
This is the last one date wise, yes.
Okay.
2016. But maybe I didn't put a signed copy in the binder.
That's,
could look
you
and
know, I
see.
mean, most of the stuff is kind of standard when it comes
Right.
to sexual harassment and all that stuff, and health hours and who's eligible and sick leave and all. I didn't see any real major issues with it, but it does say that all elected officials and appointed to the select board evaluates the town clerk, town administrator, road commissioner, zone administrator.
Yeah, have we done the evaluation yet?
And that's the ones we write, and the other, like Brian is supposed to bring evaluations of the other people.
What other people?
Just for
Well,
Christina.
Just Christina.
Christina, who does the highway department? That is,
The road foreman does
The-
the guys with the road commissioner, I would
the
assume.
road commissioner should, but I don't know if it necessarily, does it really say that in here? No.
No, well, what's missing, I think, is we don't have a wiring diagram. And then the wiring, you know, if we referred to a wiring diagram,
Who reports to
who reports to who? And that's who should
Wow.
be doing,
That's sort of like that, I'm talking about evaluations.
that would be part of it.
That's how you
Part of it is,
Yeah.
the highway foreman has the 3 road crew, and he's responsible for writing their evaluation. And then is it the road commissioner, or is it the select board who should be doing the road foreman? You know, that's something we don't have it clear,
Yep.
and it's been an issue in years past, sometimes they get done, sometimes they don't. We should have them on a regular calendar of when we wanna see the drafts and be done with them.
Well, that's the only change I would see, like to see.
That was my question, have we done them? I think you raised a good point, maybe you could make a corporate chart for it, or whatever, municipal chart, I don't know. And then we could start with that, because we do need to know what the pecking order is here.
Yeah,
So that would be useful, and then maybe what we could do tonight is make a suggestion that we get these evaluations completed by year end, maybe? Because we're gonna be coming up for salary reviews, I'm guessing.
Yeah, cause that does say that here, before
so-
salary review, yeah.
In 60 days, less than 60 days, but could we get these evaluations done in 60 days?
well, we're gonna get back to a question, and we went through this before, cause you brought in some suggested ones to use, and
Yeah.
we never finalized it.
Yeah.
We haven't even finalized what it is we're gonna evaluate people on. We haven't got this down to a science.
We had a format that we had.
The format that we made to make July.
Yeah.
That one we made.
Yeah, we've had several formats that were thrown out, but we haven't
I mean,
formalized it.
yeah, we've gone over several different things, and then there's ones the village use, you know, just for guidelines to talk about.
Let's keep it simple though.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, some of them are way
No,
longer, and it's crazy.
It shouldn't be more than 2 pages.
Yeah, but that's one thing I think we as a board should finalize. If I'm gonna write one, let's say
It wasn't that many.
I have to write Kevin as the commissioner, I don't, or however we wanna do it, we should say, here's the
Yes.
form we wanna use.
So can, over in the manual, it says who, the positions that are being evaluated.
What pages are all on? 10?
Yeah, well, yeah, 10.
It's pretty basic one that allows for
Yeah,
some conversation to take place.
yeah, this is very basic, I think that's what we're looking for.
Haven't we seen this before?
Yeah,
But we didn't adopt
but
it.
we didn't adopt
This is
that.
good. I remember looking at it.
Yeah, no, to me, it should be part of the policy, it should be an
You don't do
appendix to the policy,
Should
this
be
is
an
the form.
exhibit, an exhibit.
Right, this would be the form we would use.
Right, so that Christina just brings up another thing, read it again, please.
It says salary, overall wages and salary review shall be conducted based on merit, but you don't do merit
We don't
raises.
do
No,
Everybody
we
gets the
don't.
same raise
I
whether
know,
they're
it said that in
good,
there.
bad, or indifferent.
Well, they're
Yeah.
all good. All the employees are good.
We've done that, but we have adjusted.
Not since I've been here, but
Yes, we did, we adjusted Christina's salary,
Christina, yeah,
okay,
based on that.
based on merit.
Now,
There, but, right, but now the positions that are gonna be reviewed. that was-
Select board also decides raises for town clerks,
Not the
assistant.
raises, the evaluation. What positions are being evaluated?
Oh,
Doesn't say,
Did
it
it
just
say
says,
town clerk?
says town clerk, assistant town clerk, all elected
don't think
officials.
we-
Yeah.
all
Yeah, it says
appointed.
town clerk, well, you can't evaluate an elected official.
Official.
No.
okay, so that should
So
be
that's
taken
gotta-
out of there.
that's-
No, but wouldn't the town clerk evaluate the assistant town clerk?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause she's hired.
So I think just the language needs to be shored up in that specific space.
Yeah.
even though
If
in
you wanna
some,
write on a copy,
Brian,
an extra for an
I'm
extra.
sure you're aware of this, there are some towns that have some issue with town clerk.
There are.
Not
So-
ours, we love ours.
I know, that's
She's
not a
great.
problem, but, so maybe that's why that's in there.
Right, but
You can't do it.
Relevant, you
Okay,
can't do it.
you can't do it.
They're an
You-
elected
No,
unit.
I agree with you, you can't do anything because she is an elected official.
Well, I'm not the only one.
You should.
Well, the listers,
Edit the,
listers are the same way.
Right, the listers are the same.
the holidays needed to be edited, Juneteenth needs to be added,
I also think,
and New Year's Eve.
And Bennington Battle Day?
Added.
No, we
We
don't.
don't get that
You don't
one.
get that?
We can add it if we like.
No, no.
I think they switched it to that too, over 15 years, 4 weeks.
I guess maybe to move this along, this is a good start. If we're gonna get into merit evaluations, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah, you gotta draw a matrix.
Yeah, we wanna be well,
We don't have a pay scale.
yeah, and we wanna be ready for some blowback on that.
Well,
We're gonna
Steve,
start simple, do with this,
Yeah.
and then we can work towards a merit evaluation.
do you wanna go with that for this year, Steve?
Yeah.
And try to do something by
Yeah, I
at
think
least
it's-
January?
Make this an exhibit to our policy.
And yes, make the changes, take the town clerk out of there.
Correct that paragraph
Yeah.
and get us a wiring diagram so
Yeah.
we can approve it next month, so
Yeah.
people know who's gonna write for who.
Or we can accept this tonight, or we can wait and do it next month, whatever.
We'll do it the next meeting when we have the wiring
It's a good
diagram.
start.
Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
yeah, and the other thing,
That's mine, can we not
Yeah.
use that?
the other thing,
We
But-
should have that saved.
You should have it here,
I
yes.
just wanna make a
to
copy.
me,
Yeah,
you
For
shouldn't
me,
do
it's
an
like I have it saved
evaluation,
somewhere.
just,
Okay.
you should do the formal one at the end of the year.
yep,
We should require by June that there's a sit down between the employee and the evaluator. And just, basically a draft of that so that it gives the employee a chance
Of course.
to change instead of getting shocked at the end of the year if someone says,
Well, you give them, that's not, but we don't wanna use that as a disciplinary thing at this point. We
Yeah.
wanna use it as an evaluation of their performance. Disciplinary is a whole different.
I'm not saying discipline, I'm just saying if you have an employee you think that is coming up short, that's where you write on there that there's some things that need to be corrected.
Then you give them their objectives and a timetable.
Right, so at the end of the year, it's not a shock when all of a sudden you say, to me, it's,
No, I think you're right.
and it doesn't have to.
The only other thing is, under state agencies, I'd
This is what
I would
is
just
in
probably check to
policy
see if these numbers are
now.
still working,
It
but
should be 25 though.
I doubt they'll
Well,
change.
it's
What page?
30.
5 for boomers, but isn't it 30?
I doubt they change, but you never know.
You know.
I think it is.
okay, is that gonna be ready for our next meeting?
No, it's not telling me.
Well, the flow chart can be.
The flow chart, we'll adopt that form, we'll just create it so we can have it electronically and work it.
So you could have something
And-
like
And any other,
21 week.
Tweak the word in there too.
Yeah.
Okay,
They don't.
The other things that I have on mine, just making sure that the language is current with the Vermont Parental and Family Leave Act, which has been updated in 2023 and 2025, just making sure that we have the right language in there. Cause there's definitely some state statute stuff. I also think we need to make sure that we, have appropriate language in our technology section, which is kind of out of date considering technology has advanced so much since 2016.
that's some personnel.
Right here,
Page
19, technology use and privacy.
Oh, yeah, technology, telephones, yeah, okay, that, well, I did have a thought.
Especially if we're gonna give out tablets
It says
and
valuable town assets, so should we add devices to that?
Yeah, better if we're gonna consider tablets.
Well, so that's on back, equipment, materials within the town buildings, materials, equipment, including computers, hardware, software, valuable town asset. Will be used for the town purpose only, equipment, materials, and buildings shall not be used for employees, elected, appointed officials, private individuals, personal gain. Town of Swanton employees may not copy or use the Swanton Town purchase lease software contrary to the version of the town contracts.
Yeah, I was just a little confused on that, but I probably didn't understand it. I know that we're giving him a phone now.
Yeah.
He can use that for his personal use when he's home, can he?
actually using it for both.
Give
Yeah.
them a stipend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's a
Okay.
stipend.
It's a stipend, it's not a separate device.
That way he doesn't have to carry two.
right.
Right,
He gets a certain amount of money to pay his bill. Yes, who wants to?
So I don't know if
It is.
that's really reflected in here, or, cause it sounds to me like this is just town-owned phones. But I might be wrong.
Well, he owns the phone. And
It's
we're
his
giving
phone.
him a stipend. We don't own the phone and letting him use it. He owns his
It's
phone
a
and we're
plan
giving
he
him.
set up.
Okay.
He's set up and we're giving him some
It's
money
his phone
for it.
number that he's
For
had.
his because
So, if the town bought the phone, they wouldn't be able to use it for their own personal use. It would just be for town business.
Right.
He bought his own phone,
Right.
but he's using it for both, okay.
The one thing I wanna clarify in here too, and, cause in the federal government we had it, personal gain and personal use are two different things.
Right.
Yes,
Personal gain is when you're making money off it.
right.
Yeah.
And, you know, if someone has these tablets, there might be a time that they're gonna be on Google. You know, and we're not gonna be able to manage that, but that's not personal gain, but if they're trying to make money using town assets, then there's something wrong with that, and then that's why it says personal gain versus
Yeah.
personal use.
But on the other hand, they might be looking at an application or a request for the zoning board of adjustment, and they go to Google for information.
Correct.
That's perfectly
Yeah.
And
legitimate.
that would be part of their,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And what, I don't mean to kill this thing and keep beating on it, but we will have some recommended restrictions of use on these tablets if we do give them out.
Well, that's why I think that this language just could be cleaned up a
Yeah.
little bit to
Yeah.
reflect if we are gonna start buying tablets for folks, then
And I don't think that they're gonna abuse them, but we're probably gonna have it.
I don't think anybody's abusing it now either. I'm just
But
making sure the language is
It's,
Up to
it's,
date.
it's a,
Are you,
what one person thinks is abuse or the wrong use of it versus another, because I see where Franklin Northwest School, whatever, people are using that emails on products they're selling. What-
They're using their email.
They're using their official school email on products they're selling,
Oh,
you know?
that's not,
That's, I know, but see, apparently some think it's okay and no one's questioned it. I saw that the other day, but that's why if we can clean that up a bit and.
do you have some proposed language, Nicole, to clean that up?
I could look at it more. I didn't prepare that because I wasn't,
You're right.
just wanted to make sure everybody was on board, but I'm
Cause
certain.
I don't know what the language would be, do you?
No, not specific, other than it. Just have to spend more time, but if we're getting tablets, we should
Yeah.
take a look and clean that up a bit.
Yeah, and that could pertain to the phones and everything else.
whatever it is today, it's gonna be different a year from now, but a good start, you know.
So, if people have any thoughts on that section, send it in to Christina and, we'll look at it again.
Hopefully we don't shift pages, we'll have to change pages.
Okay.
Nick, has something
Nick?
else?
Yeah, just small things. Found a typo and might as well correct it. And page 26, Swanton spelled wrong. And other than that, on page there just needs to be a space on page 31. There just needs to be a space between Swanton property, and then after that, I think it's
Where's
perfect.
that?
And that's on other areas.
I think you just wanted to show us you read the whole thing.
Yeah,
You did the homework.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I just do something at work today.
So when we get these things done, then we can approve it and then we'll get one that's signed.
Cause this one's not signed.
All right.
So what
moving
I'll
on.
do,
Oh, go ahead, no?
I'll do the changes and highlight it in yellow and send it to you.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, folks? Any other necessary business? Got thinking about our meeting next week, and I think after looking at some of the comments on our community page, it could be quite interesting. What's that?
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Well, again, a lot of those won't show, for the actual meeting, but, I'm sorry, I think I'm out of
Is it
copies.
the one you emailed earlier?
Yes, we just added that one section, but, and this should have had a ghost on here saying draft, cause I want you folks to take a look. I took what, Brian had that he read at the other meeting about from the state, and then the discussion we had with the trustees, and I tried to put it all on one paper for talking points. And if you got something else you think we should add, one thing I am gonna add is impact to a Swanton resident. If you go out to eat just once a month, and you don't buy a lot of booze, and you only spend $100, it's a $1 increase
Yeah.
that you're gonna see as far as what you expend that month. And if you only go to the hardware store and buy $50 worth of stuff every couple months, it's 50 cents. But, people are like, another tax, and how corrupt we are and everything else. And it's like, no, let's talk about what is the actual impact to the
I
Swanton
think
resident.
that's all very useful. I've talked, people have come up to me, nobody has told me yet that they're against it. They all say, oh, we understand. And we should look at it this way, it's imported money.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming from outside the community. I mean, that's the best capital you get, is somebody else's.
We need to, I think you probably could get it from, I think it's a Ludlow. And I was Googling this damn stuff.
You were what?
Googling it. And
You were?
they had, when they went for their vote, they had it set up like this. Average medium income was like 44,000. And I don't know where they got this next number. Amount of local spending that would fall under the local sales tax. And that was only like 10% of their total gross income. I don't know where they got this number, but that's what I was talking in the last meeting is, does anybody got any idea how what it is? But in some ways it makes sense because, you don't get taxed for food, you don't get taxed on clothes, so, it's only what you're gonna buy in the store. So maybe that 10% of that gross income is a sound number. So that's basically what it would create, would cost somebody. So you're down to 4,400 at 1%, what's that, $44 something a year. Now, if we're gonna generate that much income off in here, you're saying right now, like, the town would end up with 255,000. What would the tax rate have to go up to generate that kind of income?
How much?
Yeah, would it be 5 cents? We have to raise it 255,000. That's coming out of the
tax
local,
rate?
yeah, if we had to raise that strictly from property taxes, how many cents would that be?
That would be that'd be like 25% of your general budget, right? Because our general budget's less than a million.
Because that's what you could explain to people and say, hey, look, because I'm sure it's going to be quite a bit higher on a taxpayer with a $250,000 home, or let's use 300 to be realistic. They would probably pay more than they would with a local option tax in place.
I think that's a good point, though. I mean, the more we can provide, I think your point is really well taken. It'll be minuscule.
Yeah.
It might be, 25 cents a unit or something like that, but it's good to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be.
And
So-
what was this question?
How much does the tax rate have to go up to raise 255,000
Depends on-
based on
That's-
our grand?
We're
But that's gonna be real hard to explain because some households have 4 people in.
But it's,
To me, if
well, it don't make no difference to me, but
no, I'm just trying to.
But the question is, I guess I'm trying to get what you're thinking with the 250,000, what our tax rate would have to go up to raise that amount of money. What does that 1% have to do with that?
it's what we can get. I mean, actually, because a fair amount of that money is coming from outside of Swanton.
Right.
This is going to show that we can raise more money, that 255,000, cheaper this way, even though local people have to pay the 1%
Right.
tax too, than it would if we had to raise it strictly off the grand list tax rate.
Okay,
Pretty simple.
okay, I got it.
So then you take somebody with a $300,000 home, how much would they be paying compared to the local tax option?
How many people live in the home?
Well, we got everybody, how many, 4,000, whatever it is.
No, how many in that particular home? Because that particular home is going to generate X number of dollars. But if it's 5 people, then you got to divide that
We're
number
doing it
by
off
5.
the-
If it's someone who owns the
Well,
home
all
by
right.
themselves,
Never mind.
that's
Forget
where
it,
that's
forget
where
it. Drop
that's where it
it.
gets
I don't care.
complicated.
I'm just
Earl.
I know it gets a little complicated, but I said the average medium income is 44,000 in that town. So whatever it is in Swanton, it's gonna, everybody's gonna pay that 10% of their gross. I don't know where they came up with that. Hell, they figured it was 10% of their gross would be paid on, would be buying
Well,
local income tax, not income tax, but sales tax.
Ludlow is a ski town, so I'm sure the rooms and meals portion is.
Oh, yeah, but the average, I'm going by the average median income.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah, and that's great, they use that and maybe they sold it that way. To me, you sell it to the individual of how much do you spend buying in Swanton right now? If you go to the hardware store all year, you spend less than $2,000, then that's only $20. You spend how much on meals?
Well, same thing I'm saying. They're saying 10% of the growth
But that's-
that's spread locally.
Right.
Yeah, that number is
But the,
just a wag on their
I
part.
think one thing is however many people
What?
are there.
1% of
What's that?
Dunkin' is a lot.
However many people are there Wednesday evening, you just ask them informally, how many in this room in the past month have gone to Walmart in St. Albans and bought
Exactly.
something? How many have gone to Burlington to eat out or South Burlington?
How many people have shopped on Amazon?
How much?
A lot of my buddies go to.
337?
So 3
So,
cents.
you know,
3
3
cents on a
cents per
tax
thousand.
rate.
they're paying.
So a $3,000 home
For
would,
$250,000 to raise that based on our grand list,
all right, would be
it'd have
3
to be
cents.
3.0337 per thousand.
Okay, so 3 cents.
3 cents.
So on a $300,000 home, what's that? $90 or, yeah, $90.
So you'd have to spend $9,000 a year.
No,
Nine.
no, or 900, one or the other, 9 or 90, 90 or 900.
To make up how much money?
250.
250.
Right, I got, it's .03.
Yeah, but you got the
I'm-
tax rate, yeah.
Right,
So if you had a $300,000 house, your
Yeah.
property, how much would that raise your tax at? 3 cents?
okay, got it. $900.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Is that right,
I
Kathy?
don't think you could pay
No.
$900 and
That's
1%
not
tax.
900.
So
900.
it's three, if it's a $300,000 home, so it's gonna be
So it'd
Be
be
$90.
9,000, yeah.
I think
times
Go
0.0,
back to your decimal.
Yeah.
It's .03.
oh, 0.03, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
You got too many, you got your decimal too
So
close.
it's $90.
I got one too many, $90.
Yeah.
I think,
Have to put my
I think it's a
own in there,
good
so
point,
point.
but Brian just made a thing too, if we say, if you stopped it, if you shop in Swanton, what it costs you, but nobody even bats an eye when they go to Walmart. They, in the city, the town of St. Albans is the one that gets the money, they don't even think about it.
No, I know,
And I think there's another way that it should be looked at too, is I think we should look at this as a community savings account. Similar to a business, I mean, anybody that owns and has owned their own business and had to operate it, if you can set money aside, and when you need to make a capital improvement or a capital purchase, and you've got that money there, your cash flow's in better shape, way better shape than having to make this all of a sudden start making these payments, plus the principal and interest, so in this situation, it's the same thing, is we can utilize that money for these things, so it's gonna stabilize that tax rate.
A businessman asked me, he told me he was all for it. And he said, I think it's a great idea. He said, how will I enter that in my register? And I couldn't give him an answer, of course, but he said, he just wanna know if it's gonna make another entry. So if he keys in 6%, now he's gonna key in 7.
Well, it depends what the register is set up. If it's-
Yeah, I know
if it's-
that, yeah.
If it's electronic, and it automatically calculates it, I've seen it both ways.
Yeah.
Where it's separate on the slip, but also it's a 7% sales tax, and some would be the 6
He was
plus
just
the 1.
concerned about the amount of time, is
Yeah.
extra time for his employees.
And I see a business like Bees on Broadway where they do most of the transactions right across the shelf, pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. Swanton Lumber, delivering here,
Oh, sure.
delivering there, each time they've got to decide
Right.
which way to put that on the tax. So for some of the ones, it's gonna be more painful.
And I wonder how many really pay attention to that.
Right.
Well, I wonder.
But they would know how they do it in their St. Albans store.
I know, they have to do it in those places, and I thought it was interesting, look at the information you gave us, the state gets almost $6 from each business when they submit their paperwork, that's their fee, so I don't even know yet how to calculate that, is it 40 businesses times 12 times a year, people submit that, so that has to come off that 75%.
Yeah.
There, and then the other thing, when you mentioned it, is they get 25% to help them pay their pilot.
The pilot. Which
That
is,
was-
Yeah,
was.
That's a
I
great-
saw that.
It's like, wait a minute, yeah, we're gonna create this program to help you out, but we're gonna use it to help us
You
out.
just took my tax base away, now you
The,
wanna charge us.
And they did in their wisdom lower that, was 30%,
Yep,
so they lowered that.
I think the more questions the better, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so if you have stuff you want me to add to that, fine, I just, I think the village needs to come in and be pretty much on the same page as we are as well.
I do too. The other thing is, I think people could perceive this as being a discretionary account that we could do what we want with it.
No,
No,
It is,
you,
I couldn't really pin that down on Google.
what, I would suggest, and I will check the law, but I would suggest that you would, put it in a restricted for capital improvement, or what's
well,
listed
that's the way the
here.
motion read.
Right,
That's-
capital
Yeah.
improvements, repairs, capital, and restrict it, that's it.
It should be right in our line item for voting.
Okay.
Yes.
Local option tax to be used for capital expenditures
And that's-
only, and that would get that some
I
protection.
would take it a step further, and I think it might help our case. And we can't spend that money on those things without voter
No,
approval.
there, no.
You don't have to have the record, but,
Let me finish,
No, no,
okay,
no.
if you've got the pot of money,
yeah,
okay, you've got the pot of money, and you're going to repair something, capital, it fits into the capital improvement, you can take the money out and do it. Because you've got the money, it's being used for that purpose. Now, if you say wanna replace the Berry Road culvert and pay for it for the next 4 years with the receipts received under local option tax, that you would have to have that as a budget item in the warrant.
Or if you borrowed money and used the proceeds from the LOT
To
to
pay
make
it
the
off.
payments.
Yeah,
That's.
so that, but if you've got a pot of money
Just taking the
and
money
it's
you already
being
have.
used for that purpose of what it is intended for, I believe it would be all right just to go ahead.
well, okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, every time, if something came up, you wanted to use it, you'd have to have a meeting.
A special vote.
You have to have a vote each time.
Well, you could, I know what you're saying, and I thought about that too, but we could actually, in an emergency, we can borrow money if we have a disaster. And then we go before the voters and ask them if we, to pay us off, which I'm sure they'd agree to, because, if we had it there. I just wanna give people more control over it so they can feel more comfortable that money's gonna be, because I could see, if we got that up to $500,000, if somebody, a board decided they wanted to do something, build something, that the rest of the community thought wasn't needed or didn't want or didn't support, what's gonna stop us?
Well, I'm gonna say you're not gonna build much for $500,000.
Well, you can build enough to get in trouble.
Well, and you're elected, so if you did what they didn't want, they wouldn't re-elect you.
Yeah, but after it's built, what good is that?
But they're electing you.
It's just a point.
They're electing you to do the
Yeah.
right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people gonna like to do the right thing. That doesn't mean they did it.
All right, anything else regarding that? Okay. Next month, when we have the rec board here, wanted to do the maintenance and upkeep of the LVRT we talked about earlier. Public comment? Anybody?
Bob?
Ready to go home? Upcoming events?
Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, at 12 noon will be a special select board meeting site visit on Jerry Mill Lane. Saturday, November 8th, 2025, at 9 a.m., flags for vets set up at 9 a.m. Here at Academy Street. Monday, November 10th, 2025, at 5 p.m. will be a planning commission meeting at the town offices. Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, is the Veterans Day holiday. Offices and operations will be closed. Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 will be a public hearing for the local option tax at 7 p.m. at the Swanton Village Municipal Complex. Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 will be a regular select board meeting at 6 p.m. here at the town offices. Thursday, November 20th, 2025 will be a DRB meeting at 6 p.m. here at the town offices.
Okay, thank you. Executive session for personnel, entertain, well,
Move that we enter executive section for the select board to receive confidential contract personnel, legal or real estate information for which the premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
here a second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I move that based on our just made findings, that the premature disclosure would place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage. We enter executive session.
Here a second.
Second.
Motion made,
Aye.
seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.